Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to FRL. We are here tonight for F1 22. It is F1, it is Season 16, it's round 10 of the championship as we take in the American Grand Prix. Or, yeah, is that right? The USA Grand Prix, United States Grand Prix, even from the circuit of the Americans. You can just completely forget what I just said there in that introduction. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on this Tuesday night. No Jesse alongside me in the commentary box tonight. Sadly ill. Hopefully he'll be recovering for next week. However, though, joining me in the commentary box is a very familiar face to FRL F1 viewers this season. It is Mr. Evil Zook. Zook, how you doing?
Not too bad. Looking forward to some great racing here at COTA. Obviously, the best American tracker, in my opinion.
Yeah, miles better. Miles better than that Caesar's Palace place that we're going to be going to in November. That is for certain. But, of course, the big news coming out of last week, apart from a mutiny that nearly happened last night, is, of course, Jensen wrapped up the championship, even if he didn't attend last week. He was too busy at Legacy Division. He's here back tonight, though, and he's looking to try and wrap up the constructor standings as well for AlphaTauri, which I think is really important from an AlphaTauri perspective, because they will not really do much in the standings. Jensen has to try and find the points from somewhere. But Jensen, as I say, wrapped up the championship even without attending last week. That is because Matra retired, Tom in the end took the win, and mathematically, Name Changer, unfortunately, was still in fourth position. So mathematically, he couldn't win the championship. But Jensen leads on 173 points, the same total he was on. Battle for second, though, really getting going. Macho with 2 retirements in the last 4 races that he's attended. 2, of course, he hasn't attended in the Netherlands and in Singapore. He's in second on 88, with Tom in third on 87. And he, so far, when he's shown up, has finished outside, not outside of the top 2. So Tom might be interested in terms of that. He's not racing tonight, though, so it doesn't really make a difference. Name Changer, though, in fourth on 83 points, but Ivo in fifth on 65. He's had a very consistent season in terms of point scoring finishes. Keki in sixth on 54. Watermelon in seventh on 48. Felix 1 and 8 on 39. As is Bunty, as is Charlie, who have all picked up points recently as well. Bunty especially, so he's down there in 10th position, also tied on 39 points. Jensen, though, is out on top, 173 points. And Zook, Jensen wrapping up the championship. Main focus for tonight is not only constructors, but also Macho, Tom, and Name Changer battling out for second.
Well, I mean, no Name Changer, no Tom. This is a perfect day for Macho now to try and clear that gap for P2 and the drivers. Also, a good chance here for Ivo as well to possibly bring himself up into that battle for P2. Obviously, a really strong result for it. So always a possibility, especially around COTA. Obviously, the weather being a bit unpredictable, we never know if we're going to get a wet race, dry race around here. Obviously, if the state of Texas, if it was IRL, it would be pretty dry in the summer. And possibly pretty wet in the winter, towards the winter. But obviously, in game, we're not going to know that. But the drivers will. So it's going to be a case of it's going to be a case of who's going to nail the strategy as well, and who obviously the undercut being really powerful around COTA, and seeing who goes for what.
Yeah, definitely so, indeed. Last time we came here as well, last time I certainly commentated around here in America, 4-way championship fight in PSGL F2, the man who took the win, Tierno Volokongan, who took actually the championship win, as I said there. And it was such a good race. I don't think anything is going to live up to the expectations of what I saw, certainly in PSGL F2 around here. It looks like, though, drivers are beginning to ready up. I think we are down a driver potentially. I'm not sure if we are expecting anybody else. There is 15 currently in the lobby, which gives us a bit of time, actually, to run through the constructor standings as well. Now, apologies, because this is a lot bigger than what I was even thinking for the constructor standings this week. AlphaTauri lead the way on 197 points. They only picked up, of course, 2 points last week as a result of Zero's point score finish. Mercedes in second on 168. They only picked up 8 points. The real gainers as a result of the last few weeks are Red Bull in third on 117. They can still win mathematically the championship with 3 rounds to go, so we'll have to see how that will progress. Ferrari in fourth on 113. Alpine in fifth on 89. Haas in sixth on 87. Aston Martin 7th on 65. Williams in 8th on 61. McLaren in 9th on 55. And then Alfa Romeo in 10th on 37 points. And Duke, we are now getting, of course, in towards qualifying, which means we can have a look at the track map in question. 5.5 kilometres, and then 3.4 miles, 20 turns away to now drivers out on track around the Circuit of the Americas, 2 DRS zones, one down the start finish straight up the hill and towards turn number 1, and then one down the back straight, of course, down and towards turn number 12, where inevitably drivers are going to be complaining quite a lot as a result of the sun, because we got told that it was going to be unofficial. Drivers wanted it on midday, I think it was, or is it on midday? Yeah, I think it's on midday. They want it unofficial. It is still unofficial, as per F3 and F2 last night. So therefore, the sun is going to be glaring into the drivers' faces into the braking point at turn number 12, and that could pose quite a few risks.
I mean, in F2, F3, quite a few drivers out, including myself, especially in qualifying when you just try and find your braking zones, just trying to get to grips with the track. It's not the best case scenario for a driver, but down with it really. Just try and find the apex where you can, and just try and find as much time as you can. Bit of a hindrance, but yeah, as I say, just get on with it with that one.
Yeah, so as I say, the sun is glaring, I think, in towards the braking zone of turn 15, which is the left-hander, basically out of the middle sector, out of the little stadium section that there is in the middle of the track. That is where it could catch people out as well. Down towards turn number 12, though, as long as you're on the right-hand side of the track and are seeing the braking point, it shouldn't really be a problem. It shouldn't really pose a bit of a problem. Obviously, if drivers are driving with their lights on as well, because it is obviously dark, it's 7 o'clock here in the UK, that could pose quite a risk as well. But we can see the first man out on track, and that is formerly Darragh Smith, now of course QLC Valkeo, the Irishman coming to the left-handers of 5 and 6, mirroring of course the Japan Snake S section, or the Senna S's, or Maggots and Beckett's you could call it as well. And Valkeo is that first man out on track, and he'll be hoping, I think, for a really good result, considering he has been on the pace in qualifying, certainly for Monza last week. He was certainly on the pace in qualifying there.
I mean, he's always been up there in qualifying, and just wanting to build up on that podium last time out in Monza. Obviously, 10 3 races this year, P4 and a P3, and it's 2 finishes, so 28 points, 13th. So look to try and get his way up that championship order. A lot to gain here. It's only 20 points to Watermelon in P7, who just disconnect out the lobby. I've invited him back in quickly. Obviously a lot to gain there, especially with, for example, Felix and Felix not turning up this week. Yeah, big gains for him today, and see, competition around here, not necessarily where you want to be though on the run down into turn 1.
Yeah, definitely not. I think it is going to be quite a positional track, quite a test for the drivers as well. Certainly the sun is glaring into the eyes of the driver at turn number 20, but Valkeo now starting on a run up the hill in towards turn number 1. Quite a lot of elevation change around here as well. See now the Irishman in toward the left-hander of turn number 1. Missed the apex there slightly, just try and get the run out of the corner as possible. Now coming through the right-hander of turn number 2. And then in towards the Senna S's, mirroring of course a home and tilted design track through 3, 4, 5, and then through the right-hander now turn number 6, through the right-hander of 7, and that is your first sector split to 25.3 in the first sector, exactly where you want to be from Valkeo's perspective. Now coming through 8 and 9, famous Top Gun Leclerc moment up the hill in 2022, coming through the left-hander of turn number 10, and then into the left-hander once again of turn number 11. It's looking good from Valkeo's perspective. He now comes through the left-hander of 11, and you can really see the sun glaring in the driver's eye. Goodness me, I think I need contact lenses and literally mirrored sunglasses myself. And I'm just commentating through the OBS screen on here. Goodness me, that is bright as anything in towards the left-hander of turn number 12. Now, though, he gets the braking point perfectly through the middle sector to 102.5. Sun glare in his eye, don't give a crap. And now coming to the right-hander of 13, 14, and then to the left-hander of turn 15. And again, this is the braking point where it could catch people out. Coming through now the Verstappen corner at turn 16, 17 and 18. Famously, of course, overtook the track, or took over the track, I should say, on the track limits, and then of course got disqualified in 2018. Coming to the left-hander 19. Valkeo's just about fired through there, in towards turn 20. Please close your eyes going to turn 20. On the run to the line, Valkeo sets a lap with a 132.9, which actually is not too bad for first run.
Just looking behind as well, Jensen has invalidated and Indigo has gone for a spinner, so the next one up to the line is going to be Rocco. Doesn't look to be on the pace as much as Rauco here. He's going to set a 4, looking a bit further back, I think it's Ruti. Next up, Macho goes second fastest there. 5/10 off pole time for the Williams there as Ruti and Indigo. I don't know representative lap times. Be a bit of an issue if it was, but Ryan up there into second now. QRT 1 and 2. And it seems to be a bit of a trend here. We have certain teams possibly locking up front row. Sometimes we've had Shazoo, sometimes we've had Neverlast. This week, possibly even QRT.
Yeah, Ryan was purple in the middle sector, which is why obviously he was there with a 33 flat. He was purple in that middle sector. Looked quicker than Valkeo coming through the final sector. However, though, Valkeo's final sector just a bit better. And I think that was coming out of turn number 19, where he gained all the time, then in towards, of course, the final corner. Yellow flag in sector 2, don't worry about that at all. Just drivers, I think, just backing off their lap. Bunty, however, is on a lap. Gillian Parker, I know, is going to be in the comment section at some point this evening, so may as well cover him now. On the run up towards the left-hander of turn number 12. And so far, so good from his perspective. Charlie, by the way, started on a set of medium compounded tyres in qualifying, as is Ivor. Ivor was also on a set of medium compounded tyres as well. So now come through into the left-hander, turn number 12 on board with Bunty. We'll see what his middle sector is going to be. And judging by his middle sector, he's actually not on a lap whatsoever. It's a 107 flat in the middle sector, which is absolutely miles off the pace.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually put in space now. I'm just joking there. I believe the next one on a lap now is going to be the Ferrari of Watermelon. Watermelon. I call him Watermelon. He's got an E in there. That's my reasoning. But coming now through the long right-hander now. Through it into turn 19. Don't want to run wide here. Obviously, the stewards are going to be nailing on that one today. Into turn 20 now. Short shifting here all the way to forward. Get the best traction he can. And it's going to be second fastest there for Watermelon.
Yeah, good. That's a good lap from Watermelon. Really, really strong lap from his perspective. And of course, he's a very strong starter, as has been the case in the last couple of weeks. I don't think he was actually here last week, if I'm not mistaken. So therefore, we didn't see his absolute brilliant starts coming off the line and then towards turn number 1. Maybe we'll see that tonight as well. If he does start on the front row of the grid, he is normally the most electric starter I've ever seen, certainly in league racing, I think, and that is a fact. Caleb out on top, Watermelon there in second, Ryan there in third. Chips Monster, I think, is also on lap. He's on an improvement of 102.8 in the middle sector. Ivor, by the way, asking for our predictions in the comment section as well, which we haven't got on board with. We're 7 minutes into qualifying. A little bit late to that, that's my fault. But Chips Monster now on the run toward the line. Is he going to go up there? Yeah, he goes sick. 33.7. That was on his second run. Quicker than Zero as well. And that filled him up with a lot of confidence as well. Kale's out on top. Watermelon second. Ryan in third. I'm just going to put a top 3 prediction out there now. I'm going to go Macho for pole. Jensen second. Valkeo third.
I think I've got to back it. I'm going to go Valkeo for pole. I'm going to go Watermelon for second. I'm going to go Macho third.
And for fourth, I'm going to go Watermelon as well. Just a thought in there. I'm going to go fourth Watermelon because he's normally very quick. Keki as well. Watch out for him. Ruti, watch out for him. They're normally very quick around here. Very consistent drivers. And they'll be hoping, of course, to try and get some really, really good laps, of course, on the board. Ballboy, by the way, it's not in the comment section tonight, which is normally the GT7 update. Is there a GT7 update? And no, there's not. Literally, there was no GT7 update this week. Hawk is doing the plans. I know for a fine fact he is, because we spoke about that in private a little bit earlier on in the week, which, by my calculations, is probably yesterday we spoke about it, which I think it was, because you were there too. GT7 plans are in fine order, and, of course, we want to try and get that running. If there is, of course, that validity of drivers, and the drivers do want to do it, then of course we will, and that'll be another thing that we can add on to our list. But Valkeo out on top, Watermelon second, Ryan in third. The man, the myth, the ghost, the champion of FRL Season 16, Jensen, is about to go onto the lap. And in fact, actually ahead of him, I think Macho's just starting on a lap as well.
And
he is indeed, through the final corner.
Go on, it's right.
No, I was going to say, Macho's on the run towards turn number 1. Fantastic run through turn number 1, down the hill and towards the right-hander of turn number 2. And he'll be looking, of course, to try and consolidate that second position tonight. No Tom here, No name changer here either. That is good news for Macho because he can score points and good points as well. 25 through in the first sector is very quick. It's purple apparently in the first sector as well. And he really rides the curves through 8 and 9 through the left-hander now of turn number 10. You can tell his high revving. I'll just turn the timing toe off on the left-hand side just so you can see it. His high revving there, down in toward the left-hander, and again, high revs coming out of the corner. That really maximises the traction on exit. The sun is beginning to get a little bit lower. I can now cope with the sun compared to the first lap that we did. For Macho's on the run down in towards turn number 12, and Zeke, this is not actually looking like a bad lap at all. This should be 102.2, 102.3 middle sector, I think. We'll see his split now through the middle sector. 102.3, there you go, and he's purple again.
Don't know how you do it, but you get it over.
Wow!
Ooh. You haven't noticed that one. Ralph here, one back. Lost of 2 tenths of an improvement there, but now going to ride back on the wing Macho. Coming through the 2 right-handers. 4 tenths improvement out of sector 2 here. Still through turn 19 again. Don't want to run
beautiful.
Right here. Beautiful there. All his ERS has been used up here on the telemetry there. The line is fastest for Macho.
That's a strong lap. Jensen, by the way, though, responding 102.2 in the middle sector. He now comes to the line, and he goes quickest for the 132.629. If there was a last to first challenge, he's not doing it tonight. Jensen out on top, Macho there in second, Malkeo in third, and we've seen 3 position changes for the top in about 20-30 seconds there, which is not too bad at all. Watermelon's not looking too bad either. 102.6 in the middle sector. He actually doesn't improve. I think he might just be powering up for a lap. Ryan as well has just backed off. Keki is on the run towards turn number 1. As Rocco, the man we've forgotten about, there goes 4. 32.9. He is a very consistent driver normally around here. And the last time, actually, I think I saw Rocco around here in FRL, it was the social race, and he absolutely demolished the field by about 25 seconds.
McLaren are having a bit of a good run around Kota this week in FRL. I mean, Bullboy winning in F2. It was a bit of a shock win, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, Rocco doing the Papaya car proud. Obviously, the only one for the McLaren team. I hate to say it, not the most stellar of seasons. He's still been there when he's finished the race, and he's really been carrying the McLaren team on his back, really. And that's representative of it today. Of course, fastest so far because he gets really close to Hamilton.
And speaking of getting very wide as well, Ivo through the final corner nearly butchered the track limits there. 33.5 is not his quickest lap whatsoever. I thought he would have went between Ryan and Keki with that lap. It looked pretty good. Through the final 2 corners, though, that is unfortunate from his perspective. Ivo there down in 9th. He has got time to improve, of course, in this session. Paddy, though, I believe hasn't, because he has just came into the qualifying, into the comment spot, in the commentary box, in the comment section. And you can tell by the way that he's actually steering the car, he's got rear wing damage.
Well, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. Sarcastically for him. Thankfully, it can get repaired in the qualifying session going into the pits. And yeah, you can tell just taking it really easy now just to get it into the pit lane. But the Aston Martin just behind him is on a lap. Indigo here.
Ooh.
14 fastest. And he coming through to nail turn 19 here. So,
he's
he
backed
runs
off.
a bit wide.
He's backed off. Yeah, he won a 9.1 in the middle sector. That is definite. That is a definition of backing out in the middle sector. Chips Monster, by the way, was what I was going to at, and he was purple in the middle sector. 102.4 in the middle sector. Should go between Malkeo and Rocco, you would imagine. Probably around that sort of area. Even a 33 flat. It's looked very quick as he invalidates through the final corner. Rides too much on the inside curb. Would have been a 32.992. He would have went 5th ahead of Watermelon. That was a good, strong lap there from Chips Monster. However, this next lap invalidation really puts him now on the back foot with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in qualifying.
The next man on a lap though is the Alpha Tauri here as Zero. And as I've seen as well, the Williams of Ralkeo, he's gone out quite early here, so a possibility of just trying to avoid the traffic to get a good lap in to try and battle for pole. Zero now coming through the into the fast right-hander now, and I think he was improving on his lap time out of sector 2, so it's not a massive improvement, but this could be enough to boost him into the top 10. He's now coming through turn number 20, and the final one is he had a bit of a moment there, and he's going to cross the line here.
Wow.
7th fastest. Wow.
Big improvement. 6 3/4 tenths of a second to be absolutely exact. Zabel there in 7th, going with the 1 and 33.3. Forgot to wish everyone, by the way, a happy Valentine's Day. Hope you're all doing well on this Valentine's Day. I am certainly doing well because, unlike me and my girlfriend being together 7.5 years nearly, I'm commentating here instead of treating her for the night. But there we are. Jensen out on top, Macho in 2nd, Roll Kale there in 3rd. It's lucky that we're all here because you get to listen to my grace and my poise and everything, and then you just get to listen to Zoot in the background as well, which is not too bad. He is my Valentine for tonight.
Aww. I was more celebrating the Ferrari launch.
Oh, I saw that earlier on. The Ferrari launch, I honestly saw that earlier on, and it was well done. I think it's the best launch I think they've had in terms of the numbers of people there, the numbers of, as Paddy's retired in the pit lane with his rear wing damage. The number of people there was like 500 fans, I think there was, given the insight as well of the car actually launching out on track. No other team has done that. No other team has done that in their launch, so I think that was pretty well done from the Ferrari perspective. And of course the car is a Ferrari and it looks pretty good anyways, so there we are.
You always gotta love the Ferrari, whether it's on race, whether you sport them or just appreciate the beautiful deliveries that they have.
And
but anyway,
I was gonna say we can appreciate this beautiful man on the run up towards turn number 1. It is Mr. Jensen on a lap, on the run up in the left-hander towards turn number 1. Of course, he's already champion, so he obviously has been classified as champion already this season. Jesse, by the way, in the comment section as well, saying he's watching from bed. Good luck to all the drivers, and of course the commentators will be back next week. Hopefully you will be. Hopefully you'll be in fine fettle next week, Jesse. And all of our thoughts, I'm sure, in the comments box are with you at this stage. Jensen, though, first sector, 25.1 in the first sector. And that was absolutely stunning! And that wasn't stunning, coming to the right-hand return the brake, too much on the curb, and that's just like absolutely ruined.
Yeah, but, hopefully for him, yeah,
it's in the pit.
Yeah, Rauke invalidated his final run. I did notice it while we were talking about Valentine's Day there. Zero as well has retired in the pit lane there, but big mistake there from Jensen, finding the limits there. Had to do it in quali than the race though. It's going to be Macho who's going to be the one to battle for pole here as he's now coming through the S's. Trying to just find as much time as he can as he's improving. It's a 25.2, so not as fast as Jensen was going on his final run. Now fully committed now on the run into the hairpin of turn 11 as there is a car in front of him. That is the Mercedes, and the Mercedes are going to do it. They're going to play the team game and give Macho slipstream here, Keke just in front of him. And these two work so well together to try and optimize their position, and Keke was letting Macho through now, and that will be a massive improvement for the Mercedes driver. Let's have a look at how much it was. It's 3 tenths, he's purple. It's massive and Keke playing the ultimate team game.
Yeah,
Mercedes.
this is looking good for Paul. Jensen, by the way, he's just set up onto another lap, I think, in towards turn number 1. Zabel's on the other side of the track. Zabel's already at the session, so he obviously can't improve. Maybe the AlphaTauri has missed a trick there as Macho now comes to the right-hander of 18, into the left-hander of turn number 19. Really on the limit, as I think that was Ruti there going 5th with a 133 flat. Dead on, a 133 flat. I did say watch out for him as Macho now through the final corner. Oh, it's absolutely obliteration. 32.2. Jensen is a 10th down in the first sector. He was a 25.1, remember, in the first sector. 25.3, and he's just spun out of turn number 9 as well. That is Jensen's qualifying session done as well. Rocco's invalidated. Ruti's done in a lap. Watermelon's not too bad through the first sector. Not too quick either. 25.4 in the first sector. Jesse's mic is a little bit soft, by the way. Sorry. Zook's mic is a little bit soft, by the way. Yeah, it's because he's speaking a bit quieter compared to... my OBS has pretty much got it turned up on full now, so hopefully that's a little bit better. Watermelon now, 1 on 2.6. He's not really improving in this middle sector. Ryan is 600 up in the first sector, so he, in comparison, is improving compared to Watermelon. As now Watermelon comes to the left-hander of 15, then in towards the right-hander of 16, 17, and 18. Macho out on top, Jensen second, Malkale there currently in third. Nobody else improving at this stage apart from Watermelon, apart from Ryan, perhaps Keke as well. potentially on the lap. He's coming down in towards turn number 12 as Watermelon through the final corner on the run to the line. What's the Ferrari going to do? It doesn't improve. He's 8,000th of a second off. I mean, talk about consistency. Ryan, in the end, not that consistent out of the middle sector. He's down by a 10th.
Yeah, I've just had a look at Keke, and Macho has repaid the favour, and he's 5 tenths up now.
Oh, Ryan spun!
Oh, yeah, Ryan has spun there. But Keke now through turn 19. Massive improvement here. He's
time balance!
He's too greedy. Into turn 19. Going to see what the lap has been. He will start in P12, possibly P13. Oh, that's painful. It would have been P3 for the Mercedes driver. Bunty crossed the line there, 13th fastest.
Bunty would have gone into the top 10 with that lap as well. He would have actually demoted Charlie down to 10, 33.5 that was, 33.2 in fact that was, ahead of Charlie's time. Down in 13th position, unlucky for some, hopefully lucky for him as the session will go on. But it is Macho out on top, Jensen alongside, and in the end, Mercedes hit the trick. They hit the nail right on the head. 3.5 tenths of a second improvement as a result of slipstream. It's normally average around this track. And that's exactly what the gap was between himself and Jensen out on top. Macho out on top, Jensen second, Malkeo on third. And the burning question on my mind now is, why couldn't we have the championship battle tonight?
I mean, if Macho was pulling them off all season, we'd probably be going to, he possibly could have wrapped it by now, or at least we'd be going to Abu Dhabi for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Macho out on top there, Jensen second, Malkeo in third. And got one right. I don't know how many you got right, but I believe one right. So one prediction.
How many did I get right? Macho, Jensen, and did I say Valkale for third as well? Did I? I don't know. Did I? Did I get the top 3 right? I don't know. I think I did. Macho out on top, Jensen there in second, Valkale there in third, Rockwell in 4th. I'm just taking it. Rudy there in 5th, Watermelon in 6th in the end. Ryan in 7th, Chipsmans from 8th, Charlie in 9th, Zero top 10, Ivor in 11th, Keki in 12th, Bunty 13, Indigo didn't get a lap time in at all, and Pelly, of course, with the re-wing damage right down the back of the field, and Ivor confirming in the comment section that your head commentator here in FRL F1 is an absolute genius.
No, I'm not. There you go. I'm not. But let's hope let's turn the look here in the race, as we're gonna have race predictions very soon. So I might be able to get one right.
Yeah, and we've got the formation up, I think, to talk through. But what is very keen, of course, beautiful blue skies and sunshine here in America. And while we, of course, wait for the drivers to ready up, let's have a look at the track once again. 5.5 kilometers an hour, 3.4 miles, 20 turns, of course, right now, drivers out on track. And Zook, you've of course raced here last night. Where are the big pinch points out on circuit? Because I always think turn 1's a pinch point, up the hill and towards turn 1, especially on the first lap. And also, turn number 12, down into braking point, can be absolute carnage. And even turn 11 into the hairpin.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of overtaken zones around here. Turn 1 was a big one. Really, turn 1, turn 11, the hairpins, big braking zones. Also, as you said as well, turn 12. If you mess that up, opens up the inside for someone else, and some big battles around there as well, following into 13 and 14, all the way down 15, 16. I think I even saw someone hold it around the fast right-hander, just pull it off into 19. Oh wait, sorry, that was me.
He's showing off. He's showing off, this person on the right-hand side of me. Terrible. Some of us do. Some of us do have non-existent league racing careers, you know. Including me. Macho out on top from Jensen second, Valkale there in third. Licks, I'm not believing what Licks said, because the last time he said it was going to rain, it was a dry race, so I'm not believing that for 1 second whatsoever. But Macho out on top, Jensen in second, Valkale there in third. Interesting strategy call from the Ferraris, is that actually I think it's an Alpine that has spun in the background. Might have been Chips Monster. But Macho there in first, Jensen there in second, Valkale there in third. The only driver on a set of medium compound tyres, which I think is completely the wrong strategy to be on around here, is Ivo. He's gone for that set of medium compound tyres. Now, Ferrari have been making those gains. Watermelon and Ivo have been very consistent in recent weeks. And that means Ferrari have got third position, potentially, isn't Rocco's just spun coming out of turn number 11 there. That's a typical Rocco sort of style spin on a formation lap. But he's on that set of medium compound tyres, out of the top 10. Of course, they can start on whatever tyre that they want to nowadays in F1. And that means Ivo should theoretically be the quickest man out on track. However, I'm going to put this point to you. Watermelon is the quickest starter, so I think he's going to be the quickest man out on track.
It's a big gamble by Ivo. Obviously, as well as we allude to before qualifying in the start, the undercut around here is really powerful. The issue is as well, if there's a middle of the race safety car, Ivo will be the only one to miss out. But obviously, on that medium command car, he's going to have so much grip at the start. He'll be able to make gains as much as he wants on the hard compound when he does box. Yeah, the undercut being that powerful around here, you just got to be able to nail it lap after lap after lap on that hard compound. I mean, they're quite nice to drive around here, so could be a strategy masterclass. But he is in a Ferrari. We know what they're like half the time. But well, the actual Ferrari team are higher, but yeah, hopefully for his sake, but Ivo's sake, that is.
And Macho's just been disqualified actually on joining on the formation lap, so that's actually put him further back, and that's put him right underneath Jensen's front wing. Look at that, on the right hand side, there is Macho, but he's starting must be about 3 feet back from his grid stop. 5 red lights now coming out here in America, and it is, I hope, eventually, lights out and away we go. Macho gets a very good start. Jensen alongside him though does get the great start now. Looks the inside line. Watermelon looking to the inside line as well. He's surely not going to go down the inside of everybody. He doesn't. Jensen though cascades into the side of Macho, and it's Rocco who leads. Rocco leads the way out of turn number 1. So Macho there in second. Jensen there in third is fighting with KO. Oh, there's contact and Jensen's out the race. Macho and Jensen in collision. It's drama. It's happened immediately here in America. Jensen out of the race, Macho got caught, Rolkeo was in the inside, I think, of Macho. It's a VSC out on track. Rocco leads the way, Rolkeo in second, Ruti in third. It's a good job he's already wrapped up the championship, otherwise I would be absolutely fuming with that. In the end, I'm not sure if it was a twitch from Rolkeo, I'm not sure if it was a twitch from Macho that caused that. It certainly wasn't Jensen. Jensen was just wrong place, wrong time. He can't catch a break in league racing these days, and he's already out the race, even before he got to turn 3.
And I've just had a look at the Discord chat. He is fuming. I'm not going to repeat what he said. I'll put some beeps in there for you. Beep usual beep from you guys is what he said. I think Macho as well, he's just about gotten away with no damage. I'm not too sure though. The camera angles are not helping us out here. But yeah, an electric start there.
Waterman spun. Yeah, Waterman spun the VSC, so that means he's down and 8. I think Macho might have picked up right side and play damages. Rocco's going to drive through. Rocco's got a drive-through penalty, and Ruti's just been overtaken by Ivo as well on the restart, and now Ruti looks to the inside line to try and regain the position, and Ivo has absolutely cascaded his way through the field. He was 11th race start, and now he's 3rd, up the inside of turn 19. Ruti forced out wide. It's all hell for leather. Rocco leads the way. Rolkeo there in 2nd, Ivo there in 3rd. In the end, Rocco gets a drive-through penalty for speeding the VSC. Must have been a mile an hour or 2 over. Jensen leads the session in absolute disgust as Ruti looks to the inside line of Ivo, trying to get the job done. Up the inside line goes the Red Bull. The Ferrari on the outside line is going to be hung out to dry. Now for the outside of turn number 2. Can Ruti get this job done? Can the Finn last it out all the way around the outside? Yes, he can. Beautiful stuff by Ruti. Gets the traction, gets the better move, and he's into 3rd. Really good racing from Ruti and Ivo.
Ivo been able to capitalise on all these incidents. That medium tyre now working well. So out there, he's really struggling. 1.6. Ruti is now all over the back of the medium driver.
He's going to go for it.
Want to get rid of it. As now out there goes defensively into the hairpin here, he goes a little bit wider. Back of 3.
But look at the traction. Look at the traction for Rolkeo. He's now got the straight line speed. He's just barely ahead. It's a drag race now down and towards turn number 12. Ruti and Rolkeo, they don't want to lean each other. It's wing mirrors the partners that run towards turn number 12. I think that Rolkeo might have to back this off, and Ruti is through and he's into 2nd to the inside line. Gets the job done. He's through and he's into 2nd. And Rolkeo there in 3rd. Ivo there in 4th as Rolkeo nearly locks up into the back of the Red Bull, and now all of a sudden he's got Ivo right beside him on the right hand side of the track, and now coming to the right hander of turn number left hander of turn 15, they make contact. Rolkeo is locking up absolutely everywhere. He is not going to set up for the race. He's certainly going to set up for qualifying. Rolkeo there in 3rd, Ivo there in 4th, and I'm not sure, potentially, did Ivo pick up a little bit of damage? There is the Hassel spun in the background. That's QLT Ryan round.
And that was contact between Zero and Ryan there. Zero has just hit the rear. Charlie is now into the pits as well as Rocco starts his drive through. That was contact there between Zero and Ryan, and it's absolutely mental around here in Kota today. You'd expect this around Monza, not in America.
Chips wants to try to go around the outside of turn number 2. In the end, he doesn't get the job done for Watermelon in 6. Chips wants to 7, Indigo there and 8. We can finally calm down. Rocco, by the way, did serve his drive-through penalty. He's actually not too far off the back of Ryan. He's still involved in this race as Rocco, believe it or not. But Ruti leads the way. In the end, he's been, I think, the cleanest driver on the grid so far. Volcano there in 2nd, Ivo there in 3rd, Zero there in 4th. Everyone apart from Indigo, who was spun in the background. I think Macho, has he just been caught up in that? No, he hasn't. He's got away with it. It's Indigo that was spun down the field. Pelly, by the way, after his rear wing damage, Bunty has got left side damage. As now Ivo in the foreground. The shot's going to go for Volcano to the outside line of turn number 12. Should be easy. Into the braking point. Volcano's up the inside line. The Irishman hangs him out to drive, but the Dutchman's through and he's into 2nd. The medium's coming into play. Ivo then 2nd, Volcano there in 3rd, and all of this is letting Ruti get away. Red Bull currently outscoring Ferrari at this stage, which is crucial.
Looking further back as well here. Macho recovering the car as best as he can here as he's just got past Pelly. Looking further back as well. Pelly did get the switch back of Dreams version 2 on Bunties. He locked up and just completely missed his braking point. And so it was a great switch back for Pelly, and he's running really well. I think every time I've commentated on him, he's actually run well, so I think I should be here every week. Yet Charlie absolutely hates me being here. So it's a bit of a counter there for him. But yeah, Ruti first, Ivo 2nd and Raquel in 3rd. Ivo now starting to gain a little bit there on Ruti, making that medium compound tyre work. They're trying to close up the gap into Raquel. Yeah, he is really, really struggling here today. And I think, could Zero actually get a podium for AlphaTauri here and maybe keep it a good case for their constructors there?
Yeah, potentially so. I think Ivo was trying to drag Volcano into things as well, but Ruti's just got so much straight line speed. He's got ERS as well, and a real depletion of 13% compared to Ivo on 40%. So Ivo can use up more ERS if he needs to. And judging by the sparks, as Chips Monster goes very wide in towards turn 11, I think we're going to get, as actually Chips Monster spun in the background of Shot, we're going to get those Zero on the back of Volcano. And in the end, who would have thought Zero's 3rd? AlphaTauri are keeping their constructors' hopes alive. They're into 3rd with Zero. Of course, Jensen's already out the way, so it's all up to Zero. Has he now got the inspired call that Jensen has got in the background? Maybe they're in the same party. Maybe he's trying to guide him along. But so far, Zero is looking pretty good. I don't want to curse him whatsoever, but this is looking, I think, as strong as I've seen Zero drive all season.
Some might say the Rubens Barrichello to Jensen's Schumacher here. A lot of people did write him off a bit, but he's proving them wrong here and trying just to keep AlphaTauri going. As I think, yeah, that's Ryan in the background who's gone for another sprint fast right-hander. It's not going to be the race to remember here for the Haas driver. Keki has now got Valkeo as well, so the Mercedes trying to chase down the AlphaTauri here, try and get as much ground as they can in with constructors. Obviously, drivers are no longer possible, so we're going to at least try and get one championship this season as Rocco. Well, brilliant recovery so far. It's definitely not going to be the end. He's up to 9th now. It's got Bunty. It's not looking the best race for Haas in their home Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely not indeed. We didn't make race predictions, by the way, which I think is rather fortunate. It's very much rather fortunate, I think, because this race is definitely not on terms of my top 3 anyways. One of them in my top 3 would have been already out as well, and that's Jensen, right down the back of the field and already out the race. As Charlie is picking a 3-second penalty. Charlie's curse with Zeke still being here is an absolute godsend. But Indigo on the back of Bunty is looking like a potential move. Watermelon as well on the back of Alcale looking like a move. Up the inside and towards turn number 12. He's going to come from a mile back. And in the end, Volcano does himself a favour, locks up, and Watermelon should be through, and he's into 5th here, and he is. The Ferrari around the outside gets the job done, and Volcano in the end, no brakes, I think he's screaming at that Williams crew.
Doing a bit of a Bobby race, stole Bobby's brakes from yesterday. If you don't know what happened, check the F2 stream out, but now Macho here as well. He's going to try and get past that Williams as quick as he can here. Perfect opportunity for Mercedes to try and claw as much as they can. So having both drivers up there, outscoring Zero, obviously Zero doing the best he can here. but he's really struggling into Ivo has actually caught up to Ruti.
Yeah.
Ruti's out of ERS.
Oh, and Ruti's gone deep, and maybe I thought that was tactical more than anything. I didn't see a lockup there physically. I was on board with Ivo. I didn't see a lockup physically there. But in the end, Ivo there in second, Ruti there in the lead of the race, and maybe Ruti is the one that's now took his hards beyond the limit of complete and utter destruction. Well, not complete and utter destruction, but you get what I mean. He's taken them far too aggressive in the early stages of the race. That's what I'm trying to say. And Ivo there, 6.5 tenths behind, is just being a little bit patient now. He's got to try, and I think now, just trail brake into the braking zone, because Ruti does go deep. Ivo just need to try and save up ERS, as Macho's just sent it around the outside of turn number 11. This would be a brilliant move. He can pull this off, and he has. Macho doing his intersect, recovering very, very well in this race. In the end, though, Valkeil's going to get him back down the straight. Is he going to do him for fish and chips, or is he going to get a bit of scampi on that as well? As Valkeil's on the back of Macho on the run up towards turn number 12. And in the end, Macho looking like a macho man. Maybe he's taking after Macho Man Randy Savage as he's there in 6th.
Oh, and just looking ahead here, Ivo looked on the
Switch
move
back.
there. Is he going to get the traction down? Obviously, God made that medium compound work. Going to have the better grip here compared to Ruti. We will be entering the crossover soon, so he's got to make these mediums work as quick as he can and just try and build a gap to Ruti. It's definitely looking to be a bit of a Red Bull Ferrari fight, a bit reminiscent to real life. The only thing is, AlphaTauri in 3rd, that's pretty unrealistic.
It is, unless you've got Italian Grand Prix Monza 2021. Zero in 3rd, Pecky in 4th, Waterman in 5th. There's a yellow flag. I think that's Ryan that has spun again. Yeah, it is Ryan that has spun once again. Charlie's overtaken him. At least Charlie's now unlucky for some 13th position, as Ruti leads the way from Ivo in 2nd. Zero in 3rd. You wouldn't have believed it, but we are a quarter of the way through this race, judging by what happened in the first 6 or 7 laps in this race. But Ruti there leading the way, Ivo there in 2nd. And now Ruti it's been rather consolidated, certainly in the first 2 sectors. Ivo gains on him through that final sector. He just has a much stronger final sector compared to Ruti. Keki, though, on the back of Zero, was looking pretty interesting indeed, as the cloud now begins to build over the circuit, so maybe this threat of rain that Lick was on about is potential. At this moment, it is just potential. I say that it's going to be the final couple of laps. Keki, though, doesn't need the next couple of laps to get the move done on Zero. He's into 3rd, down the straight. And do you know what? Watermelon's catching a rate of knots as well. He's not going to be close enough, but he's still there in 5th. And everyone now settling down. But this is what I mean by Ivo. His final sector is so strong. He breaks very, very late into the corners. And he gets away with it. And he gains time, especially coming out of turn 15. He should gain time coming out of here. And then in the end, he's not gaining time this lap round, so maybe those mediums beginning to hit the cliff. And I normally say around here, Zoo, it's, what, 10, 11 laps, I think, on the set of mediums, and then halfway stage for a set of hards. That is when the drivers should be pitting in, realistically, for their pit stops, and that will mean the set of mediums that come into place later on will be quicker for Ruti, and he's got a 9/10 gap onto lap 8.
Obviously, as well, around here. As you did say, it is correct there, about another 12 laps on the mediums, and then about 14 to 16 for the hards. But you see the undercut just being really powerful around here. Obviously, we've seen it before in many different leagues. Either staying out too long, getting a bit greedy on how much trying to build their lead, and they just drop down the order like flies. But Keki now as well, he's just broken into the DRS out of Ivo. He's looking to be a three-way fight. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, very realistic. Fortunately, these are equal cars, so... Pelly.
Valkeil, that was tactical. That was tactical. I think Valkeil's just let him through for the DRS, I think, down the straight. In the fact, though, he's with the DRS detection point. He's done that far too late. And indeed, both of them don't have DRS. As Watermelon goes for the move on Zero. Oh my god! Macho to the inside line. Oh, he got away with that. He got away with that. That was pure suicide if he tried that to the inside of turn number 12. Zero would have easily been collected. He backed out literally last second. It's a good job he did, because I was absolutely going to curse him there. Penny, by the way, through is into 7th. Valkeil there in 8th, and Valkeil either went too deep in towards turn 11, or it was tactical. I think it was more lock up into turn 11, and certainly that is the case for Pelly, as he's now beginning to pull away from him.
Yeah, it must have been a lock-up because, as well, the tactical, if it was tactical, it completely backfired as Pelly did get the DRS on him. see the detection zone being well before the hairpin. But now Raukeo really struggling this race. Obviously, really good qualifying, but he just can't seem to find the race pace, which is obviously big. It's really going for him. He did show to have the pace, but looking further ahead, by the way, Ivo has now lost the DRS to Ruti. Now it's going to be Keki trying to get past Ferrari. Try and make it an NLR 1-2. I know the different teams, but nice for the team bonding, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be good. I was gonna lead into an EML thing, but yeah, EML's not on tomorrow, so I can't really do that. I can't really do that. NLR though, I've been doing rather poorly as Indigo was spun through turn number 9. So Indigo was spun through turn number 9. Macho though was coming out of 80 knots behind Zero. Is he gonna go for the move to the inside line? You bet he will. To the inside line. Zero's just gonna block up as well, and Macho was through surely into 5th position. Zero there will hold the inside line. The Fantarry breaks slightly later. Gets the better exit out the corner. There still should be Macho's move though. He's on the inside line, and yeah, the track falls away. And in the end, Macho Fernie's into 5th. And that was a really well worked move there for Macho. Holding on to that second position in the standings. He's going to consolidate that, of course, with points here tonight if he does finish the race. Currently, after that mistake and after that crash where he was 8.5 seconds behind Jensen and 8.5 seconds behind the rest of the field, he's there in 5th position now. Has he got lucky in this race? I don't really think he has. I think this is just pure pace.
Yeah, I think the only bit of luck he's had is the collision, that he didn't get damage from it and completely destroy the race. Obviously, sometimes you need a bit of luck, sometimes you need pace as well. And obviously the luck, something Indigo is not having, neither Aston Martin or Haas, they're going to want to forget this race ever happened really at this point. I mean, I think Indigo
hang on. Somebody that's not going to forget about this race too soon is Keki, right on the back of Ivo. I thought he was going to get a real good switchback out of turn number 9. In the end, though, this is looking pretty easy down the straight, and he thinks, as Ivo pulls out a little bit more in ERS, and now Keki has got to try and do the hunt work. This is literally reminiscent of Montana Tom season 14 around here. Keki now looks the outside line. This time it's not for the championship, as opposed to Montana and Tom in the background. In the end, though, Ivo stays second, Keki in third, and Keki could have easily gone for that move. In the end, he's just trying to hassle Ivo. His mediums are clearly going off. If I was Ivo, I'd come in the pit lane this lap around and then go for sort of hold Compana's tyres to the end of the race. He has got to make a call that is going to benefit his race. Ruti Keki is going to be going 5-6 laps. He's got to go sort of hold Compana tyres, get that gap out, and that gap could be as high as near enough 4 or 5 seconds if he's on the pace early on. As Ivo, I thought he was diving left. But he doesn't, and in the end he jukes Keki, and that could be rather misfortunate because Keki's right on the back of him, running up the hill and towards turn number 1, and the Mercedes is closing in. This will be a late lunge to the inside line on the Mercedes part. Off the track, he nearly ran off the track, and Keki threw it into second, Ivo there in third, and Ivo in the end, he should have came in the pit lane because that has not worked out for him at all.
I do expect him now to be on the straight to let Watermelon through as I think that's Williams. Raukeo. This race has been absolutely
I tell you what, Macho's right on the back of Watermelon. He's going to go for the move into turn 11. Around the outside goes the Mercedes. He's second in the championship. And Watermelon in the end just about shut the Ferrari-shaped door, or Mercedes-shaped door. Absolutely slammed shut, but Macho has got very good straight line speed down the straight. Watermelon in the end is not going to be let through by Ivo, because if he does, in the end, Macho could absolutely do them both, and he could be in third and he could be on the back of Keki if he does, and that will work out perfectly from Mercedes' perspective. Ruti leading the way, Keki in second. Ivo's tyres have gone off. They're about 5-6 cents per second slower at this stage in the race, and Macho sends it to the inside of Watermelon. They get caught on each other. And there's contact, and in the end, 1-2 aggressive move from Macho. He needs to let them back through surely. Watermelon's going to be behind Pelly, I think, though. Yeah, he is behind Pelly. He's behind Rockwell as well, potentially. But Macho in the end, Ivo's into the pit lane as a result. He realises his teammate's been caught up in the pits. Macho as well is staying out there. But Macho caught up in that incident with Watermelon. Watermelon luckily enough to get any damage. There is a yellow flag. I think that is Raukeo who was spun at the back of the field. But yeah, Macho, again, these audacious moves. Some of the times he pulls them off and they're absolutely brilliant. Some of the times he pulls them off and in the end, he'll get sent to the steward's room. He is albeit, I don't want to be as honest as I am now, he is a very inconsistent driver though, when it comes to those sorts of moves.
Yes, just to point out by the way with Rakeo, I'm just watching him now. I don't know what he's doing. I'm pretty sure he's going to retire this lap. I was just making sure he didn't purposely crash against the safety car. Yeah, but I mean, the big gainer of all that, Zero, and 3-second gap now to Macho, but obviously 3 seconds to Keki. Zero, big gainer there, and it's not really benefited Mercedes as much. It's now that's brought AlphaTauri back into the race. Obviously, no Jensen anymore, so Mercedes are going to need to close that gap now, and I would expect Keki possibly to go further back. Looking ahead as well as Pelly, P5. I don't want to jinx it for him. I'm hoping he can hold on. I really hope he can hold on, to be honest with you. As well, Ivo in clean air as well, being hounded a little bit by Charlie, but not too bad, so Undercut could be a really good possibility. Got to keep an eye on him today.
Yeah, Pelly, sorry to cut you off, Pelly is doing a phenomenal job there in 5th. He said to me last week, I remember interviewing him last week, and he said he's got absolutely no plans about this race. He doesn't want any points, is I think what he said last week. And in the end, he's in 5th. The race has gone completely according to plan from his perspective. He hasn't spun so far. America seems to be one of his favourite tracks, and he has led me on quite a lot, and I'm going to make that assurance in the interviews. If he's back a little bit later on, if he's in the interview room, I'm going to say to him, what did you say to me last week? And he's going to say, yeah, I've got points. So there we are.
Yeah, but Watermelon might be looking to ruin them plans. That's a yellow flag for RKO as well on that soft compound tyre. Not been a race to remember for him as well. For Pelly, really, I would just hope he scores points, to be honest. Seems to be a bit lucky when I'm commentating. I think I transfer all the look Charlie had over to Pelly, which again, I shouldn't hate that much. Looking a bit further ahead as well, Macho starts closing on that gap of Zero. And further back to our Pelly.
Oh, Watermelon! Out of absolutely nothing, gets the move done to the inside line. He looked to the inside line. I thought he was going to fake it. Have you got a safety car? Is that Volcano that's just from wing by any chance?
I will have a quick look for you now. I can't
Must
really
be.
see. Could possibly
be,
but this is not ideal for yes, no front wing. This is not looking the best. With Routi's into the pit lane, the hard runners are going to come in now. Yeah, all the hard runners. I don't think depends on how many laps of safety car we're going to get here. I don't think the mediums can make it. Possibly from lap 14 onwards.
They can. They can make it to the end. If Volcano is going to be, well, he's near enough a lap down. If Volcano is going to be basically catching up to everyone else, we're going to have about 3 laps on the safety car. That's going to take out about 5% out of the tyres, what necessarily would have been. So everyone who's in the pit lane, Ivor, by the way, also came in the pits. I thought it was going to be perfect from Ivor's perspective. In the end, though, I saw how far he was back, and in the end, everyone who was due to come into the pit lane, this has worked out an absolute treat. Ruti and Keki, now in LR1-2. Zero there in third in the AlphaTauri's crowd. He's in about his best position I think I've seen him in all season. But, and only but, he has got Macho behind him. And looking from my perspective, and I'm just going to say this now, even though he's been involved in an incident this race, if he can clean up his act, and he can go for moves, and he can be very consistent this race, Macho's going to win.
I think Zero's going to win. Yeah, Macho's pace has been phenomenal. Obviously, Keki as well, I don't think he's going to challenge him too much. Battle though with Ruti though, because Ruti did show really good pace so far this race, but as well, Keki could possibly challenge him. We're not going to know. It depends on the restart really. Yeah, right in there. 3-second penalty under the safety car. Don't know how you pull that one off, mate. Obviously pushing to just try and catch the safety car as quick as they can. So it's going to be a bit of a wait anyway, because we're waiting for RKO, who's going really, really slow through the last corner there. I don't know what's going on with him.
Is he an AI
Yeah,
by any chance?
Don't think he's left because he is making a lot of mistakes. But yeah, I'll have a quick.
He's under.
Not an AI.
It's definitely human control, is what I'm about to say. And then he has a big snap. It makes me think, actually, he hasn't disconnected from the session, but his AI is just controlling the car. That's what I'm thinking. But then again, I don't think an AI will go as quick as what he is coming through here. We're just running board, thinking that he's an AI at this point. And yeah, he does look human out on track, is what I can report. So he is literally like the UFOs that have been hovering over the North American plains at this stage. Valkyrie might be spying on everyone. At least he's not 40,000 feet up in the sky and giving surveillance over the whole field at this stage. And I don't think an Irishman would be in the position to do that anyways. But Valkyrie there in 13 is obviously going to catch up to the back of the safety car. And obviously the driver's now halfway through the race. And this is a bit of a switch-off period. This is a bit of, right, let's focus on the second half. Because everyone is now going to have really good action towards the end of the race. Really good racing towards the end of the race. Everyone's on a set of mediums. That makes me think everyone's going to get to the end of the race. They normally can make it to the end of the race. But who knows what can happen. It's Formula 1 at the end of the day. It is F1 FRL. And who knows what's going to happen in the next 14 laps or so out on track. As Ruti leads the way, Keki in second, Zabel there in third, Macho in fourth, Watermelon in fifth, Pelly 6th, Rocco 7th, Chips Monster in 8th, Ivo in 9th, Charlie top 10. And then it's Ryan, Bunty and Malkeo, the 13 that are still going. In terms of position gain, by the way, out on track, which we haven't rolled on board with tonight, Keki's gained 10, Rusi's gained 4, Zaro's gained 7, Pelly's gained 9. Those are the most position gains, most positions lost. Malkeo, who started in 4th position, starting there down in 13th off the safety car restart. He is still going out on track, which means I think we might get the safety car in next lap around, maybe even this lap. He does catch back up, but he is still on the other side of the track, so I don't think that is going to be possible. Ruti leads the way, Keki there in second, and, well, if this was EML Premier, I'd be lapping this up with my co-commentator, Alex the G, who is an NLR member, NLR 1-2 at this stage. Are they going to work together, Zoom? Because they're both in different teams. Yes, they may be in the same esports team, but are they actually going to work together? If I was them, I'd be threatened by the man in 4th.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to want to prove himself there. Obviously, he's got championship position to gain as well. So I don't think they're going to work together a whole lot. I'm going to correct this now because it would get on my nerves. Rakeo started 3rd, not 4th. It was Rocco in 4th. There we go. But yeah, I mean, don't think they're going to work together necessarily, but they're not going to like crash into each other, for example. Obviously, Zero as well. He's got a bit of a challenge on his hands. So he's got to keep up with Keki. But I feel like Keki's going to try and back Zero off into Macho as much as he can as well, while trying to keep up with Ruti. So again, it all depends on the safety car restart. As well, Watermelon behind as well could possibly pull something off. We don't know. Obviously, it is FRL F1 at the end of the day. For all we know, James might jump into Jensen's broken car.
I hope I do. I hope I do, because I'll be, I don't know how many times I think I've won an FRL. I think it'll be my 6th time as an FRL race winner. And do you know what? I'm actually going to have a look at who has won the most races. I will complain, by the way, while Kale's saying that he purposely ruined this race. I don't think he did. While Kale's still there, down in 13th position, and Ivor there in 9th. Ivor was ahead of him out on track, so I'll just focus on the positions rather than on the driver in behind. Everything can be dealt with, of course, afterwards in the stewards. Volcale, though, saying he missed his braking point and he had Owen's wing as well, which I think is why he's been mucking up so much, certainly. So maybe he got caught up in that collision with Macho and Jensen, and obviously he picked up a bit of damage, and that's what it might have led on to, obviously, on the first couple of laps, and that's why he's been mucking up so much. But what I am going to do is look through the archives of the FRL. It's literally dusting down the record books at this stage to see how many race wins I've actually got. And I have 5 race wins after season 14, and I've never been back since. So if I was 6 race wins, I'd be level pegging with Kazizzle. Does that make me a member of Shizoo? I don't know. Safety car though coming in this lap.
I mean, you got more race wins than me. I've got 2.
I've got more wins than Lou. I've got more wins than Ollie Flavel. I could say I'm one of the best, but there we are. Yeah.
The competition wasn't Bullboy.
I mean, Ballboy's now got 15 race wins, and he's now clear 6th, I think, in the standings. That might get updated, though, by the end of the season. But anyways, safety car in this lap. Rucci's now virtual Burmalander, he's now virtual safety car, and he is now controlling the pace out in front. And he is wanting, I think, Keki to be right on the back of him, down in towards turn number 1, and catch Zero completely napping, as we will see when he's going to go. Maybe on the exit of turn 19, I'm thinking. On the exit of this corner coming up is where I expect him to go. And in the end, there he goes. Ruti now goes on the exit of turn 19, and look at the gap he's pulled out on Keki. It's 6/10 of a second already. Great restart from Ruti's perspective. Great restart from Keki's perspective. And an even better one from Macho, because he's all over the back of the Alcantari. Into the left-hand turn number 1. The Mercedes runs up to the inside line. Is he going to get him on the brakes? Macho to the inside line. Zero doesn't have that fight. And Macho in the end is through, and he's into third. There was no contact there. Pure reaction there from Zero to let him through. Rocco and Penny are side by side coming out of turn 2 and 3. Tries to get the job done, the Dutchman. But in the end, the Brit holds firm and holds for 6th position. Rutigo leads, Keki in second, Macho in third. That is a great restart from Macho's perspective. Great restart from the front two's perspective. And then again, Zero, because he's no Jensen, is now beginning to struggle. And he's there in fourth and has got Watermelon all over the back of him.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant restart from Ruti. I was about to say, was the Red Bull going to help the Mercedes for once and not the AlphaTauri?
Oh, beautiful move. Beautiful move by Ryan, sorry, in the background. Sorry to cut you off there. As Charlie now is actually going to try and get back past him. And in the end, Volcano might look for the inside line as well and towards turn number 12. Watermelon, though, storming down the inside line. And Zero gets the job done. Beautiful move on the brakes by Watermelon. Gets the job done. He's into fourth. He's got Macho there in third. And in the end, Macho does not have the pace early on after the safety car restart to try and live up with the front two, but Ruti leads the way. Keki in second, Macho there in third. Good move by Charlie further down the field. Good move by Watermelon as well. He's up to fourth.
I mean, it's been a really good restart for Ruti. Macho might not be as comfortable on the mediums, obviously, but hard a really nice drive around here. Mediums just need a bit of wearing in as well, just like the hards. As yeah, he's lost the DRS here, but as well, Keki can't really back to give him the to help against Watermelon, and he'll lose it to Ruti. So realistically, Macho's got to go for him as Ruti. As Keki's gone for a spin, Keki has spun. I'll be at turn 1, and the Ferrari of Watermelon is into third, and the podium Zero might still be on.
It might still be on, and Keki was just too Larry. That was simply done by himself. No contact from him behind. Keki too Larry on the on the power, and that is so common on this game. So common on this game, where drivers just put down too much throttle power, too much power basically on the exit of the corners, and Keki unfortunately caught out. He's down on lap 13. Claudio's beginning to build over the circuit though, which makes me think Licks might be right in terms of the rain potentially coming later on, but Ruti leads the way, Macho there in second, Watermelon in third. We're still going to get to that point at the end of the race. There's Chip Swanson on the back of Pelly, Ivor on the back of Chip Swanson. Nobody's looking quite close enough, but Ruti there leading the way. Macho now in second, and Macho in clear air. 4/10 gain through the first two sectors as he now comes through the right-hander of turn number 14. My mind went blank there for a second. Macho though on the back of Ruti, and in the end, he doesn't look like he's got pace towards compared to Ruti at this stage.
The Red Bull looking absolutely phenomenal this race. But they're looking just above. The tiles are coming in. Is there that chance of rain? And that's why the hard runner to the box under that safety car. Obviously, it'd be a fool's choice not to. But if that rain does come, we could be in for a shout of a shock winner here. Realistically, it's going to be one of the, I'd say it's probably going to be Charlie, Ryan, or Valkeo who are going to gamble it, or possibly even Keki to try and help Keki for Macho. But yeah, be a bit of a gamble.
But potentially so. I don't know if that's an Amazon delivery that's being knocked on the door in the background there, but Ruti leads the way, Macho in second, Watermelon there in third. Ruti though, all of a sudden Macho's beginning to get on with things. 1.3 seconds the gap in behind, and Macho there currently in second is doing a good job. Charlie also doing a good job further down the field. He's got Ryan though under pressure, completely under pressure, and the Hassman now on the back of Charlie. The Aston Martin down the hill in towards turn number 11. Is he going to think about going for move to the inside line? Yes, he does, to the inside line. Charlie sees him coming. There's a bit of forceful contact between them both, and now Charlie forced out wide, and that means Ryan is through and he's into 9th. So Ryan through and he's into 9. Here comes Rocco on the back of Zabo as well. All things now beginning to kick off, including Team Zook Store. Rocco there down into the inside line, gets the job done into 12th position. Beautiful stuff, and now Charlie and Ryan once again side by side coming out of turn number 12. In the end though, Ryan stays 9th, is ahead of Charlie. Crucial for him. Charlie on the borderline of the points. Remember, these have got penalties, however. Ryan, Charlie have got 6 seconds, while Kale's got 3. And while Kale, speaking of which, dives it to the inside line of Charlie at 10:15. Forces him out wide, but that is remorseless there from the Irishman. Gets the job done. He's ahead of Charlie. Charlie will not be happy with that one bit. In the end, though, he got led out there by Valkeo to the inside line. And in the end, Valkeo now ahead. That means, I think the position would have not been really changing anyways. Bunty, in fact, could come into 9th position by the end of this race. And speaking of which, he's now on the back of Charlie running up the hill into the left-hand of turn number 1.
Just to explain to you, it was Royal Mail, not actually.
I was nearly right. I was nearly right.
It was just my bad.
Terrible. Terrible. Just put do not disturb. I can't even speak. Do not disturb on your knob end. But that sounds wrong.
I have got to be nice. I took me to Hampton to do my theory test.
Yeah. Bunty's also got to be nice to Charlie, by the way, while we discuss about different things. To the inside line, and Bunty gets the job done. Beautiful stuff. To the inside line there at turn number 11. Knob end, by the way, did sound very, very wrong, so I take that back. Hecky on the back, and Charlie down the inside and towards turn number 12. And in the end, Charlie doesn't want any of it. He just breaks down the straight. Never seen that before from Charlie. Doesn't want anything to do with Kecky, staying miles back. Maybe he expects something to come. Maybe he expects the rain to come, because the rain is beginning, or certainly the cloud is beginning to build over the circuit. Ruti, though, all of a sudden has got Macho right on the back of him. 8/10 of a second out in the lead of the race. We're about 3/4 of the way through, so if anything was to go and we were to die at this stage, this race result would be taken at this point. Ruti leads the way. Macho there in second. Watermelon there in third. And Macho all over the back of Ruti. And all of a sudden, he's beginning to get on with things as Macho. This is not over and done with just yet.
Yeah, big snap. Obviously, one person you don't want to see in your side rosette is the Mercedes of Macho. Not the one you want to see. But yeah, looking through the grid. Realistically, the ones who are going to gamble for the Inters when it does start raining, it's going to be Charlie or Kecky, really. Well, Charlie, Ryan will be the two gamble, realistically. They're going to drop out of points at the moment. So, be a bit of a gamble for them. Ryan, yeah, another penalty there for the track limits. Watermelon as well, he has not found a lot of pace here on that medium compound tyre, as he's just dropping back. Maybe it's just the raw pace of Macho Ruti. Watermelon still keeping Rocco at bay here, the McLaren. Now losing a bit of time into Zero, who's got the DRS on the McLaren, but I think it's a bit too far back.
I was just running about with Macho there as well. I've just heard the DRS get flicked on as that Chips Monster gets the job done on Pelly. Just about gets the job done. Pelly's still alongside him. Chips Monster through and he's into stick. I heard that DRS get flicked on though, halfway down the straight. Macho was certainly saving something down the straight there. That was very strange. I heard that in my ear. So Macho now needs to use up that DRS to try and close in once again. And to be fair, he has got pretty much even amount of DRS compared to Ruti, so you need to try and find him out somewhere. But as the laps go on, as that threat of rain of course strengthens out on track, it actually means the further we get into the race where it's dry, the less likelihood it is it's going to rain towards the end of the race. And I think if the rain is going to come, it's probably going to come last lap of the race, probably maybe just after the race.
Come on, bring us some drama. Now, also one to watch here, Chips Monster. Most ERS out anyone in the top 6. I have to be very specific there. Obviously, think about what Macho's got now as they've started to say towards the front. But looking as well, Ivo looking to try and make the move here on Pelly, who did get a bit by the safety car. He's trying to make ends meet here. He's going to look to try and make a move on the Alpine, but the Alpine's sticking really well with Chips Monster with that. But obviously more ERS for that Williams to use to try and catch up to Zero. But Macho now 4 tenths behind. 4 tenths behind LP3.
Nah, he's not going to go for it.
No ERS is being deployed on either side, but Macho does have more to use. I think Macho might just try to force Ruti into the mistake, but it's going to be very hard to get into the Red Bull.
Here's Ivo. to the inside line of Pelly. Sorry to cut you off as he gets the job done. Nicely done by Ivo to the inside line. Pelly there and 8 might get the switchback coming out the corner. And in the end, Pelly is dropping down, but I tell you what, he is doing a phenomenal job there in 8th position. Never normally up there with the pace. Pelly really excelling in America. He has, I think, had a podium around here before in the FRL F3 days, if I'm not mistaken. That is going well back on my memory. If that is confirmed, please let me know in the chat. But Pelly there in 8th on the back of Ivo there in 7th, doing a good job. But yeah, Ivo doing a good job. Pelly is literally all over the back of him though, coming through the final corner, now on the run to the line. And speaking of all over the back, well, Kale's all over the back of Ryan as well at the final corner. But in the end, Rooty leads the way, Macho in 2nd. And if I was in Macho's shoes, I'd be saving up that EOS until my hard's content, because now he's got 10% more than Rooty. Oh, and he picks up a 3-second penalty!
Oh no! Oh, this could be game set match here for Rooty. Macho's trying to move as quick as he can.
But this will be a positive for Macho. Now he can use up those tyres. The tyres, of course, are being saved as a result of the safety car. They had 3 laps into the safety car. As that Bunty is ahead of Volcao coming to the left-hander there. I think Volcao made a mistake. Ryan's trying to dive to the inside line of Pelly as well in the back end and shot Macho now. It's too far back to obviously get the move done. But what I was about to say is, if he was close enough, I think he would have tried and shot the balls basically and went to try and go for the race win and try and get that 3 seconds out on track as Ryan pokes into the stream of Pelly once again. Pelly has just about got more straight line speed though. Ryan started to the inside line, and in the end there was more than 2 moves there under the braking point, and Pelly in the end might just get the switchback. Like say, we're not going to take this to the stewards, and in the end we are going to take it to the stewards because he absolutely clanks him and he spun himself. Pelly has spun himself, and now Keki and Volcao are side by side. Volcao's gone too deep into the corner. Surely Keki's going to get the switch back. But I'll tell you what though, Volcao and Keki sliding their way out of the Verstappen corner, and Keki looks to the outside line. This will be a remarkable move. He can pull this off to the inside line, and there's contact. There's more contact, and Pelly spun again in the background. Keki in the end, that was audacious from Keki. He shouldn't have dived down the inside line. Charlie now is in all of this. And all of this has led to Rooty and Macho being 5 tenths away from each other, and Keki now getting the job done. Back on Charlie, I think, in towards turn number 1. And yes, he does. Charlie through, and he's into 10th as Rooty has picked up a 3-second penalty, and we're now even.
This is big for Watermelon. He's got to close that gap in now, because I'm going to ride on board now with the leader. He's only a 10th out of that race win. Just to confirm, by the way, your memory does serve you really well. F3 Season 2, Pelly won here in Kota.
Yeah, I thought he won around here, but I didn't want to say it on the stream in case I was wrong. Macho, by the way, is going to go for the ERS on the back of Rooty. This is the move for Macho to go for the race lead. He's picked actually a perfect time to try and go for it. He sees that Rooty is struggling. He's seen that Rooty has gone for that 3-second penalty, and now he's going for the jugular as Macho takes the lead of the race. Rooty there in 2nd, Watermelon in 3rd. But if these two fight aggressively, Zook, that means Watermelon is going to come right into play, less than 3 seconds away, and in the end could win the race.
I mean, you wouldn't love a Ferrari win there. Obviously, 2nd as well could be critical here for the championship. For both teams really, as well. I'm just looking around here. Big gap there between Zero and Chips Monster, so ignore what I said about Chips Monster having really good pace. Try and fight for the win. Yeah, backfires. Charlie has gone for a spin there. He has dropped down into P12 as I think Volcao has stopped. He's coming into the pit lane now. I'll keep an eye on what. No, he's retiring. I thought he was going to go for a gamble with the clouds coming overhead. That is there from really ominously now. Is rain now going to become a factor?
No. I'm convinced. Right? I'm absolutely convinced there's going to be no rain in this race. And I'll tell you why. There's 2.5 laps to go. Oh, no, 3.5 laps to go in this race. If the rain was to fall now, it takes 2 laps for the track to get wet. We'll only have wet compounded tyres for 1 lap of the race. And therefore, the drivers will stay anyways. Because they'll be on that set of mediums and they'll be on the fresher tyres. Macho, though, however, does want this done out on track. He's now outside of a second nearly to Rooty. Rooty has got DRS down the straight. He does look quick down the straight. In the end, though, he's been left absolutely going here. Macho's lost all of that EOS now. Rooty there in 2nd is doing a good job. Watermelon there in 3rd. There's a yellow flag. Is that Volcao's AI coming out of the pit lane? I think it is. Yeah, Volcao's AI coming out the pit lane. Disappointing from his perspective, but Macho now, once it's done out on track, they're both on 3-second penalties. They're both pulling away 3 seconds, respectively, from Watermelon. And in the end, Watermelon's pulling a second away from Rocco. So even if there was to be a battle between these two, it looks very unlikely now, because Macho has now upped the pace, upped his game, and he's going for the race win. But if he's got to have a little bit of stewarding to do a little bit later on, if he gets a steward report put in, he might not actually pick this race win.
Yeah, have a look forward. Neither Sunderland or Warsaw scored, so we don't have to celebrate
I know.
about that. Unfortunately for both of us. I'm focusing on this. Macho is going to want this done on track here, but as well, looking further back, Watermelon has completely dropped out of the 3 seconds to even Ruti now, so it looks very set for the Red Bull to take second, and I think his best result of the season.
Ruti, yeah.
No, joint best result of the season with actually last week in Monza.
Yeah, did a solid job last week in Monza, and yeah, Ruti there in second, doing a good job, and Macho leading the way. Again, pulls out another 0.3 of a second. If we are going to get rain, it's not going to come before the end of the race, as Ryan is out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car?
Too late, too late.
Yeah, I was thinking it's too late, but then again, these guys are going on to lap 26. But Pelly, fastest lap of the race as well, which is good from his perspective. Will get an extra point to his tally, and that's if he finishes in the top 10. I'm tempted to say, or it's just any other position.
As long as he finishes the race, he'll get the fastest lap point.
He'll be fine then. He'll be fine. I don't think anyone's going to go on it unless Charlie decides to go set the soft compound tyres. He could try and steal that point potentially, but nobody's going to be stealing, or certainly Scar might steal the Steward's win, the win away from Macho at this stage. Ruti there in second. Macho, though, to be fair, he had that one mistake to the inside line, and he has learned in this race that going for moves is aggressive on part, but you can't really get an aggressive move done around here, and that's what I think let him out. But we have to put it in edgeways. He was last. He was completely dead last at the start of the race. After, of course, Jensen had crashed out the race, we didn't get a safety car on the first lap of the race. And Macho was last. And he's been lucky, potentially, out on track. Charlie, by the way, is listening to us because he came into the pit lane to set us off compound tyres. But Macho has certainly grown into this race. There was that one mistake after, of course, that incident with Jensen. If Jensen wants to put it in, he could do. But I think he lost it by himself. I think he got caught in a bump coming out of turn number 2, and Jensen was just wrong place, wrong time. That's how I saw it, certainly in commentary. But but Macho leads the way. He has learnt and grown into this race. And in the end, this is what sets apart good drivers from great drivers. And Macho was a great driver. On his day, he could be unbeatable in FRL F1. And I'm being absolutely serious with that. But in the end, inconsistency, as I said, in his driving, lets him down. Inconsistency in his driving has let him down in this race. But he's still out on top by 1.7 seconds. And that speaks volumes of the driver he actually is.
Yeah, I mean, so you need both in a championship. You need consistency, you need the pace. I mean, on his day, he is realistically serious about anyone.
Oh, Chips Monster! Chips Monster, sorry to cut you off, as a spin coming out of turn number. Is it raining? Oh no, this is just sun glare. I thought it was raining for a second. Bunty, by the way, just got the inside line there. Rocco's picked up a 3-second penalty. Watermelon's fine. Keki's got a 3-second penalty. And Bunty might be coming up the field to finish on the podiums by this chance, as Ryan has left the session further down the field. Onto the final lap we go. Macho leads the way. Ruti in second. The front two are obviously done, unless one of them picks up a 3-second penalty, which I'm really hoping that they don't. Well, I'm kind of actually hoping Macho does, but just to spice things up. But I don't want that. I want this done out on track, as Chips wants to look on the back of Bunty through the S section. He's not going to push the better going for here. No, he's not. He's on the back of him, though. And Keki on the back of Ivo as well. They're looking like the two battles to finish off this race here in America, as Macho now leads onto the back straight and leads by 2 seconds.
Just proves the resilience of never giving up in a league race, especially if anything goes against you. Obviously, with the spin and being in dead last, it's proven why he was in this championship fight to begin with against Jensen. The Bunty has now gone past Keki.
I thought he had picked up a puncture, which is why I was looking at the rear right, but he hasn't. He's blistering like anything though.
Yeah, this is rear right. But going now through the right-hander for the final time this race. I think Pelly's slowing down just so he doesn't have to do another lap. It's gonna be Macho.
Oh no, he's gonna go. Is he gonna go? Yeah, he's gonna go on the final lap of the race. Macho through the final corner is jubilant, and that's the first time I've seen a victory celebration on board. Actually, Macho takes the win from Ruti there in second. Watermelon in the end off third is not too bad. Zero though, best point score of the season from Zero's perspective. It wasn't a race win. He's still 900 odd days looking for a race win. But Zero there in fourth certainly drove a fantastic race. But Macho does take the win. Of course, stewards might say otherwise, but if there's no stewards reports, and of course, if there are no queries, as I say, in the end, is that Charlie is going for this fastest lap of the race, by the way, and he does get it. By a good second, I think that is, over Pelly at this stage. Pelly, 35.4. He's gone for it. He's going for this fastest lap of the race. Now, I'm going to ride on board with this, just to see if he gets the fastest lap of the race. It's like a qualifying lap for Pelly at this stage. He comes in towards turn number 12. Is he up in the middle sector? 103.7 in the middle sector. He's 4 tenths up. And he needs to find another 5 tenths through this final sector, basically. So Pelly, 3:10.15, needs to find 5 tenths out of something. Charlie, I think, though, has got the fresher tyres, so I think he's going to keep the fastest lap. Pelly, though, taking as much deep line as possible through 18, through the left-hander turn 19. Oh, and that's definitely not going to be fastest lap now. As Pelly through the final corner, on the run to the line. Actually, he's going for it. Pelly to the line. Ooh, he was a tenth and a half away. And in the end... Yeah, and in the end he finishes 11th, and we're getting excited for the person who's finishing 11th as Charlie picks up Driver of the Day, believe it or not, by awarded by the in-game fans. Do I give him it this week, or do I let him sit and suffer again?
Sorry, but unless something happens with the stewards report, I think only one man deserves this, the Driver of the Week this week, and it is Macho. From last and round, on lap 1, to winning the race. It's phenomenal. Is the only word that can describe that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I'll say, he learned and dealt with a lot, I think, in that race. That move, of course, down the inside line, that bit of contact, of course, on that one with Jensen. Probably not his fault whatsoever. As I say, I thought he had a bit of a snap of oversteer on the outside, and Malkeo might have touched him to the inside and then got forced into him. But we'll obviously hear from him in due course. But in the end, he's learnt a lot in that race. When he is good, he is really good. And as I say, he's unbeatable on his day in FOL F1. And I really do mean that. And I know he's in the background listening to this, so it makes me even more happier to say, yeah, Macho did take the race win on absolute default. I thought he was the best driver out on track. I said, at that safety car restart, I said Macho would win the race. And look, I got the qualifying prediction right. I got my prediction for the race win right. I'm a very, very happy man. I just need the threes to come in, and that's something winning later on tonight. But Macho takes the win from Ruti there in second. Watermelon as well in third. Zero with his best result of the day finishes in fourth. Best result of the day? Best result of the season, I should say, finishes in fourth. Rocco there in fifth was unlucky. Ivo in sixth. Bunty there in seventh drove well. Chips from in eighth. Keki in ninth. Charlie did pick up the fastest lap of the race, which I think is about as many highlights as he had all season. Pelly in 11th with Ryan Malkeo Indigo, and of course Jensen out of the race a little bit earlier on. As we can now speak to the man who is in the party with us, the man who finished, of course, in P1, and that is, of course, Mr. NSX Macho. And Macho, as I said there, you learnt a lot in that race. You went for an aggressive move. It wasn't going to be. And you were at the back of the field, first lap of the race. So how on earth have you ended up P1 in this race?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I had a very good quali. I said to Keke at one point, like, well, we have only one thing to fight for, and that is the constructor, so let's help each other out. And he told me along on the straight, so I got like 1.5 tenths because of that. So, well, that was Paul in the back. Then I tried to pull him along, and he did an invalid on the last corner, otherwise it would have been P3. But yeah, on the start, I already knew some people have amazing starts. So I said, like, we'll probably be like P3 on turn 1. But then into turn 1, yeah, I think it was 3 wide, and someone on inside hit Jensen into me. Then I had to stick all the way on the inside curb, and I was driving on that, and the hards, lap one, cold tires, it just didn't work. So I snapped, and I snapped into Jensen, which then saw Jensen flying into the wall. And I was in the party with Jensen. I said, like, yeah, sorry, mate. And he was like, yeah, well, not really much you can do on that point. But then we had to focus up again because obviously the constructors is the main thing. And that was quite a good race, I think. I gained like 7 positions on like first 3 laps. And then I had a bit of a problem with the watermelon because I had like 0 straight line speed, so I couldn't get past. But then I had a small incident with him. I just got tangled with him, and then he spun around, I think. And then I knew I had the pace. With the safety car, it was quite a bit lucky. I got back up to Ruti and Keke again, and then everyone just disappeared in front of my eyes, and it was Ruti versus me. And then saved up a bit of energy, went for the move, knew I had the pace to probably drive away, and I did. So yeah, quite nice race.
Really, really strong race from your perspective. You could hear me; they couldn't hear me on the stream, which is because I muted myself because I thought I was going to sneeze. But anyways, there we are. But yeah, talk us through, of course, that incident with Jensen, because you said there, Volcao, I think, was on the inside line, and then he knocked, I think, himself into Jensen, and then Jensen just got caught up. But for my reckoning, I thought Volcao was on the inside line of you, and then he's forced you basically into Jensen, and Jensen was just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, well, that you could say that, yeah, because I think it was Rocco who went down the inside on turn 1, with then Solid and Jensen hitting me like on the side, which then saw me, Jensen, and Rocco all go, I think 3 wide. Then Rocco went into P1, and because Jensen was next to me, I had to go on that inside curb there, because if I don't, Jensen's gonna get like washed onto like the rumbles and probably gonna lose a lot of places. So I was on that curb, and then I had a massive snap. I think on the PCF 1, like someone had it as well on inside. And obviously with the hards and with the cold tires in lap 1, I just got absolutely sent to the left, and then I hit Jensen, and yeah, that was just wrong time, wrong place, because then Jensen, went into the wall and retired.
Yeah, and obviously a shame from his perspective because I mean he's already champion, so it takes a little bit off that, I guess, with him obviously wrapping up the championship. But honestly, you drove such a good race. I think you're going to be certainly driver of the day. As apologies to Charlie because he was awarded driver of the day by the in-game fans, which at least is something this season, Charlie, if he's there in the background. But yeah, Zook, any questions?
You're now looking towards into Mexico next week, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick comment on like how do you feel about your pace round there? Do you think possibly another great result for Mercedes coming in?
I can't really tell, since I don't think I've done a race in Mexico yet, but I know Keke quite likes the track, so yeah, we're gonna send it, and we're gonna hope we can fight for that constructor's title. So yeah.
No, sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. And of course, I think the constructors is the absolute focus for the remainder of the season. They will, of course, finish there in 4th position, which means the Mercedes have got a little bit of catching up to do still, even with that race result. But as long as the stewards don't mess you over in terms of the steward reports and nobody reports you, you are the race winner tonight. Go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming, guys, and enjoy your evening as well.
You are very welcome indeed. Just to bring up to date on Zook, Sunderland are now winning 1-0 after a very scrappy goal from Ligo 9.
Yes.
So that at least
I might go
is, yeah, that at least is a very big positive on my end. So everything is working in threes tonight, which is fantastic. We can now speak, unfortunately, not to the man who finished in P3. If we led on to that, that would be brilliant. But instead, we can speak to the man who finished down in P7, and that is Mr. CPI Bunty. And Bunty, in the end, 13th on the grid up to 7th, of course, caught in quite a bit of carnage on that one as well, and obviously developed through the field very nicely, some nice overtakes in the race. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was nice to be back after obviously a week. I was ill last week, so it's nice to be back in FRL. But yeah, I wasn't actually caught in the first lap. It was quite nice. I managed to survive it and make up a few positions. And after qualifying, I invalidated my last run, so I was just trying to keep it cool and just wait for other people to make mistakes, because obviously, like most leagues, people make mistakes, and I thought maybe I could get points. But I think it was like the third lap. I think it was Indigo. He almost spun exit of I think it was turn 9 or 10, just after the first sector. So he had to slam on the brakes to avoid not spinning, which meant I tried to slam on the brakes, but I couldn't do anything, so I got damage. So it was me, Ralco, and Ryan at the back, trundling along outside the points, and then obviously a lucky safety car, which brought me back into it, which meant I was in touching distance of the points with all the penalties. And I don't think I did many, if any, overtakes, but I saw a lot of spins. So if those count as overtakes, then I've made a lot of overtakes today. But yeah, nonetheless, seventh is a nice result. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly a nice result, and I didn't know you were ill as well, so it's obviously good to have you back from being ill in that perspective. And of course,
Thank you. Yeah.
you made some really good overtakes in that race as well, especially late on. Final couple laps, you made some really good overtakes late on. Talk us through that, because that pressure, I think, was really there. Of course, you're not going to be up there with the likes of Jensen, the likes of Macho, so you had to try and be quite skillful and quite energetic as well in trying to get those moves done.
Yeah, it's never easy in FRL to get moves done, and I thought with everyone running different wings, it was quite kind of difficult to obviously pass some who were running higher wings, but then the guys who were running, sorry, it was difficult to pass the guys with lower wings down the straights, but obviously then you reach the S's in the first sector or the third sector, and the guys who are running higher wings are right on your rear wing, so it was with all the different setups, it was quite difficult because you obviously had pressure from behind and pressure ahead. I know, like Keke towards the end, he was right behind me, but obviously I had lower wings, so I managed to stay ahead. But yeah, for Rail F1, it's like the midfield's always been a scrap, and it's always enjoyable kind of having the battles with the guys like Chip Monster, Keke, and Eva and such. But yeah, it's difficult to kind of have the pressure with drivers behind, but also trying to apply the pressure ahead in USA. But yeah, I managed to get through it well tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely so. And obviously, with the likes of Chips Monster, probably drivers that are around your pace as well. So I think that was even better. Getting one-on-one with them, racecraft, of course, is absolutely second to none, which is fantastic. And obviously, moving forward for the remainder of the season, we've only got 2 races left. Can you believe it or not? We've only got 2 races left. Next week, of course, is Mexico. How do you think you're going to get on around there? Because Mexico on this game is one of those tracks where you hook up a lap and you absolutely love it, or it's one of the tracks where you get caught in incidents, you get caught up in the wall, you get caught in more incidents, and then all hell breaks loose on track. So how do you think you're going to approach that next week?
I'll probably approach it like any other. Obviously, try and put the practice in. It's nice being on wheel, so I already got a few tenths in hand on some of the other guys who are on pad, like maybe Rocco. But I remember, I think it was way back in F1, maybe 2020. I actually managed to get a podium in F1. So I'm one of a few drivers who actually can say I've had a podium. So I've got a bit of experience, although it was a few years back. So hopefully be able to use that. I know obviously people will get penalties, and who knows if all chaos breaks loose and some of the front runners like today get caught up in incidents and maybe do a horse run and somehow on the podium. But that would be probably my wildest dreams. But we'll see what happens next week. It's going to be a good track, so hopefully lots of action for you to tell.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be really good from your perspective as well. Apologies, by the way, if he was breaking up there on my end, certainly. I think that's typical London Wi-Fi, I think, kicking in there from Bunty's perspective. Down in the... It was coming through robotic. Yeah, absolutely fine. I think everyone heard that, though. I certainly got the gist of that, which is the main thing. Go and enjoy evening.
Thank you. You too.
You are very welcome indeed, and I certainly will, considering Sunderland is now winning 1-0, which is very good. We can now move on to the man who, of course, finished in P10 and got awarded Driver of the Day by the in-game fans. It is Mr. FRL Charlie, and I should say, also got fastest lap of the race and beat Pelly by 0.2 per second to that fastest lap as well. And Charlie, it was a race where it didn't go necessarily wrong, I think. You just didn't at times seem to have the pace compared to everyone else. You were making your way through the field second half. And then, of course, I think you got caught up in an incident, if I'm not mistaken. Talk us through it.
It was lap 2, I got caught up. I was staying with absolutely everyone, but then after Ryan had spun, I was expecting this car to go, but the game decided to say, no, we'll just leave the car there for you to hit. So I then barely clipped him and got damaged, so I had to quickly rush into the pit lane, which pretty much I instantly knew that my race was ruined after that. I then somehow caught up to Ryan Bunty and all that, even though it didn't matter because it wasn't for points. But after the safety car, everyone was striving like absolute morons against me, to be honest, because I was getting forced off by everyone in every single corner whenever they go ahead and overtake me. But then once I saw my connection, I was like, oh, I may as well just pull over and let everyone go by. That's why I braked on the straight to let KK go by, because I couldn't be asked at that point. So I just let him go by. Then I decided to just go for fast lap because I knew I wasn't finishing in the points with the penalties.
Yeah, and it's still it's a point score. You obviously get 2 points as well with that fastest lap of the race being awarded. Even though Pelly did try and sneak that on the fastest lap of the race, which I'm sure he will come on to in a second as well. But yeah, talk us through as well that safety car, because that safety car came out on lap 12, I think it was. Was it an ideal time from your perspective to come into the pit lane, because everyone then transitioned on that set of mediums?
I was happy that we got safety car because really, I think it was like, it wasn't even lap 12, I think it was like lap 14. I think lap 14 is when it came out, and I was planning to pit about lap 16, so I really didn't mind it, because I was going to go on to another set of mediums anyway, which it worked out, but I just dropped pace all of a sudden on those mediums compared to everyone else.
Yeah, which is obviously a real shame from your perspective. Sorry, I've just got something in my eye. Let me clear up for a second. Everything's going wrong on this stream. Goodness me. But yeah, obviously you still finished P10, and looking forward to the final 2 races of the season. Of course, we've got Mexico next week. It is a track you've done well at in the past. What's your expectations going into that?
Not great. It's another track where it comes to track limits, and that does not help my morale. And considering the pace I have on there around on this game, it's not great, and I'm really not looking forward to it at all. Neither Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, well, you never know. You never know. Jensen and Macho might not make it next week. You never know. You might be on the podium next week. That is the beauty of FRL. That is the beauty of sim racing as well on the F1 game. Go and enjoy Eden though, Charlie. And we will now speak to the man who, of course, finished down there in P11, nearly sneaked the fastest lap of the race as well, and was actually up there for quite a lot in the first half of the race, up in 5th position, Mr. Pelly. And Pelly, the spins came back to haunt you, my friend. You were looking really good throughout that race, though.
Yeah, like I said last week or like the week before, I like USA. But I quickly found out like the setup I have is not good anymore. I really need to find a new setup. That's something I learned today. I have no straight line speed at all. Like, it's fucking horrible. I'm sorry for swearing. It's horrible. Like, yeah, you're just chanceless. Like, when I tried like the first half, like I saw everybody like a lot of people like spinning, etc. I just like took my advantage from that. I just stayed out of trouble, and I was P5 then before safety car came out, and I didn't really want to have the safety car. Like normally I want to, because it was like perfectly in the pit window. But knowing I had no straight line speed, I didn't want, because I knew I would go downwards, and that's what happened. I tried like to push, but once I lost DRS to 0, they just like immediately passed me, like I was just standing still. And yeah, I also had to burn all my earwax to stick with them. So it was just like, yeah, which is unfortunate race. I also had like I think an incident with Ryan. I don't know. I felt I gave him enough room, but I don't know. I haven't watched my footage back. But yeah, if I didn't, he can report me. Like I don't mind. So yeah, immediately after I spawned myself. So yeah, but for next time I probably gonna have to get a new setup for USA because I cannot continue with this one because yeah, there's no chance. But yeah, then I try to get the fastest lap because yeah, maybe to get a point or. And then I made my final attempt. I made a mistake in this first sector, and I think that prevented me to get fastest lap because it only was 2 tenths. Yeah, I know in the first sector, if you make one mistake, it will also mean that the next corner is also gonna be compromised. So yeah, in the end, like a disappointed race, I guess.
Yeah, disappointing race from your perspective, I think, in the end, but you were fifth position for a majority of that first half of the race. So yeah, I think you should be proud of that. That's a positive, of course, you can take out of that race as well. And same question that I said to Charlie as well, in terms of obviously the safety car coming out. Was that perfect from your perspective in terms of the safety car coming out?
Well, like without like if you take out my the knowing that I know lane and speed, like if I had like one of the fastest the normal setups that other guys have, like I would say yes because it was perfectly in the pit window. I would have maybe pit like one lap in lap 14 I think or lap 15 I would have pitted, so it was perfectly. But yeah, knowing I had no lane and speed, I was not really happy because yeah, I had a bit of a gap, and I think if there was no safety car, I was like it was certain I would get points today. Um, like maybe like Rocco or something would have got past me in the end, but that would have been it, I think. But yeah, I wasn't happy today, but yeah, normally I would have been happy.
Yeah, I think it's how racing goes sometimes as well, in terms of how you approach the race, how you think that you're going to do in the race, and then all hell breaks loose in the race as well, and then it just goes, it doesn't go according to plan. That is literally the story of every league racer, I think, at the end of the day. And obviously going into Mexico next week as well, how do you think you're going to get on around there? Because that is a track that I think you've had a love and hate relationship with in the past.
I think more hate. I think maybe when I loved it was maybe 2017 or something, F1 2017. Like I think or 2019. Since then, like I hate it. I cannot do well there. Yeah, I don't know. I have no pace, or I get a lot of penalties, or I spin or crash. Like it's one of those things. It's yeah. It's never been a good race, and this is also it's not only in F4, it's like in every league. Mexico, I'm not doing good there, so I'm not expecting anything there. I would just turn up, and maybe there's gonna be some incidents or something I can uh, gain from, and maybe I can sneak up with some points. I don't know, but yeah.
You never know. It's so easy, I think, as well in Mexico to go full wide down and towards turn number one. I think every single commentary that I've done around there, we normally see 3 or 4 wide and towards turn one. And yeah, as you said, incidents can definitely happen. And obviously, if incidents do happen, then it's going to be beneficial to the rest of the field further down, which is going to be fantastic. And obviously benefits you, I'm sure, in that race as well. But go and enjoy your evening, Pelly.
Yeah, thank you, you too. Thanks for commentating.
You are very welcome indeed. And that marks, of course, the end of tonight's live stream as well. And a big thank you, of course, to everyone who joined for the interviews tonight. Zook, by the way, has had to go and watch his beloved team Walsall probably get thrashed in the second half in that League 2 match. Which is better than, well, not better than what Sunderland's doing, because Sunderland's actually winning at this stage, which is good, because I'm going to watch that after we finish here. But, of course, a big thank you to Mr. Zook, who joined me in the commentary box. Hopefully Jesse is back next week. I really hope that he is feeling fine and feeling as good as ever. And of course, we do go to Mexico in, I was going to say 2 weeks' time. It's not 2 weeks' time, it's TML. Mexico for round 11 on the 20th of February. So that's next week, or 21st of February if you're looking at that calendar. It is the 21st, and of course, Mexico is one of those tracks where drivers do love or hate it, and it is going to be interesting to see whether Jensen can bounce back to some sort of form. Of course, he is already the champion. Macho gaining the points, though, here tonight. Gaining the points from Mercedes as well. The Constructors' battle going down to the final 2 rounds. Also in Abu Dhabi, which, of course, is coming as the final round of the season. But we, my friends, are going to end off here. A big thank you to everyone that joined in terms of the interviews. A big thank you to everyone that liked the stream as well. Like, comment, subscribe, tip that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. We are going to be seeing you once again next week. So for myself, from Charlie, who is still here, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.